Hi there, this is Ryan from Arrangr, and in this video, we're going to be creating a one-on-one meeting invite. But in this example, we're going to try to really fully showcase the capabilities of Arrangr one-on-ones. So strap in because we're going to take a little more time in this than in some of the other quick starts, because we're going to take our time to really try to highlight more of the features and to just fully demonstrate what you can actually do with Arrangr one-on-ones. Okay, so let's jump on in. Click New One-on-One there. And as usual, we'll pick our recipient. So below the recipient, you'll see their time zone. Now, if they have entered their own time zone into Arrangr in the past, then it's going to show what they said is their time zone. Otherwise, you'll have the ability to edit the time zone if you know that they're in a time zone different than yours. And what this does is just when Arrangr emails them your invite, we can show them the times in their own time zone to eliminate confusion. And if their time zone is different from yours, we'll even in parentheses put the time in your time as well, just for full clarity, so they can see it in both time zones, just to make sure everyone's on the same page. Okay, so as usual, you can enter a message here. So we'll say, "Hey, can we meet?" And you can also add agendas to your Arrangr one-on-ones. So we'll give a little example here. 1, item 2, and you can even add sub items. So add a sub item. So item 2A, item 2B. So you get the gist there. So now let's move on and suggest some times. So let's say in this example, we're looking to meet for 45 minutes. So one thing that you can do with Arrangr, which is kind of similar to how a lot of times people want to operate in real life, is sometimes rather than just suggest an exact time, like Wednesday at 10 a.m., you might want to say, "Hey, I'm open for basically all of Wednesday morning. So do you want to meet for 45 minutes somewhere in that time range?" And you can do that on Arrangr. So because we've already indicated that we'll be meeting for 45 minutes, now if I highlight a time range longer than 45 minutes, so let's say 9:45 to 11:45. What I'm doing is I'm saying I'm open for these 2 hours, so I'm suggesting this 2-hour range, but for a 45-minute meeting. So it'll allow them to pick a slot within that 2-hour range to arrange our meeting. But in the same invitation, I can also propose some exact time. So we'll say, or, also Thursday at 11 a.m. is good as well. Okay, and then let's say, but, so I have some options during the week, but it might also be good. We could meet in person, maybe Friday after work, or maybe over the weekend on Saturday. So I'll throw in a couple times there as well. So let's say Friday at 6 p.m. Or Saturday at 12:30. And we can just scroll up above to take a look at all the times we've proposed. And you'll see, okay, so the first time, 2-hour window, and you'll see it says here it's an open window for a 45-minute meeting, and the other ones are just exact times, 45 minutes, so 11 to 11:45, 6 to 6:45. And from any of these, if you want to tweak them, you can do it always by dragging down here, right? So I can change that a little bit, move it back. You can also do things by clicking on these little icons here, so we can eliminate that time, right? We can edit it if we want to change the time just a little bit. And if I just want to double check where it falls on my calendar, if I click that, it's going to scroll down to it down below so I can take a peek. Okay, so now let's move on to suggesting where or how we're going to meet. So another thing that's powerful with Arrangr that you don't get with other services is you can suggest, not only can you suggest multiple call methods or multiple places or a combination of them, you can also suggest different places or different call methods for your different times. So in this example, I gave them a couple of times during the work days, Wednesday and Thursday. So let's say during the workday I can really only do a call, but on those weekend slots, I could meet in person, and we can reflect that here. So for this first slot, we'll throw in Zoom as an option. And then let's also give them a voice call option. Now, this free conference call option is always available, and you don't even have to have created your own free conference call account. So this is something that Arrangr Arrangr creates a dial-in on your behalf when you have an Arrangr account. So this will work, without any setup from the start. Uber Conference works seamlessly once you create your own Uber Conference account and enter your details, but you have to do that first. Okay, so let's go with free conference call. So it generates a dial-in for you there. Okay, and let's go ahead and say, so I can do a call on any of these times. So let's copy that to all the slots. Now let's move over to slot 2. So just double check. Okay, so those are showing up. Slot 3. So now Friday evening, I could also do in person. So let's find a place to potentially meet on Friday. Okay, add a place. So another cool feature of Arrangr is if you know where they're coming from and where you're coming from, you can actually search. You can have Arrangr plot the route between the two of you and show the midpoint. You can search for places right at that midpoint between the two of you. So I'm going to click halfway here. So let's say I'm going to be coming from the Prudential Center in Boston. And let's say they'll be coming from WeWork in Cambridge. Okay, now let's continue. So now you'll see here, that's the route between the two of us. This red dot is the midpoint right between us. So now if I search for a restaurant to grab some food or some drinks at, so now it defaults to searching close to that midpoint because it's not very far between us. The places kind of range across there, but I can see exactly how far they are from both of us. And so let's see, let's scroll down and okay, Craigie on Main, that looks like a good place. I can also, just to double check, I can look at the reviews, clicking here. So I can see some pictures, I can see the reviews, I can click here to go to their website. So if it all looks good, then I'll go ahead and suggest this place. But maybe I'll give them a couple options. I don't want to totally be the decider here. So let's throw in that one as well. Okay, and then for slot 4, maybe we want to propose some different places, right? So maybe we're looking to do coffee at this time rather than a full meal. So let's search for cafes at this time, and maybe what, I know where they're coming from after work on Friday, but I might not know where they're going to be coming from on Saturday. So actually, instead of suggesting a place myself, I can invite them to pick a place, and I'll put in where I'm going to be coming from. So let's say we'll just say Prudential Center again, but more realistically, this might be your home on Saturday. Okay, Prudential Center. So now I've put an option for them to pick a place, but it's going to let them know where I'll be coming from, so that'll help inform their decision to pick a place. Okay, so now we can move on and we can review our options. All right, and we'll see it's a little complex, maybe a little more complicated than a typical invite that you'd actually send, but this helps to demonstrate what you can do with Arrangr. Okay, so it all looks good. My message is still there. My agenda is down there. Okay, and let's say I just want to deliver this personally to them, so I don't need Arrangr to send it to them. So I'll uncheck that. So now I just have to make sure that I share the link with them myself after I create it. Okay, now let's create the invitation. So it's created. So now I can share the link with them. If you have a Slack integration, then you'll also have a Slack option here to share it through Slack. And the link here is just a little bit, the local host is just because I'm on a test version, but that's going to say arrangr.com/whatever in real life. Now, one thing that is pretty cool is you can click email here, and you can actually have a formatted version of the invitation that you can insert into your own email. So I can copy this, invitation copied, and then I can just go over to my Gmail and I can just paste it right in and send that to them so they can have it formatted and pick right from the email. But if we want to go back, I can also just copy the link, right, and share it, through whatever medium I want. I can text it to them, I can do whatever. Okay, so hope you stuck with me this far. I know this was a longer example, but hopefully that really gives you a better idea of what you can do with Arrangr. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.